major political and religious clash is now unfolding as the Vatican takes direct aim at Donald Trump and J.D. Vance over their stance on the controversial just war theory. The debate has erupted amid rising global tensions and the ongoing conflict involving Iran, pushing centuries-old theology into the spotlight once again.
I like it when the Pope comments on questions of immigration. I like it when the Pope talks about abortion. I like it when the Pope talks about matters of war and peace, because I think that at the very least it invites a conversation. I certainly think the answer is yes, and I agree. Jesus Christ certainly does not support genocide. Whoever yelled that out from the dark, he certainly does not. I think that's pretty easy. I think that's a pretty easy principle. When the Pope says that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword, there is more than a 1,000-year tradition of just war theory. Okay? Now, we can, of course, have disagreements about whether this or that conflict is just, but I think that it's important, in the same way that it's important for the Vice President of the United States to be careful when I talk about matters of public policy, I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology.
According to Vatican editorial director Andrea Tornielli, speaking via Vatican News, the idea of a just war was shaped in a completely different era, long before the existence of drones and modern weapons. He stressed that earlier theologians debated war in times of swords and clubs, not machine-guided destruction, warning that today's warfare presents moral dilemmas of dramatic intensity. But the pushback from Washington has been just as strong. Speaking at a Turning Point USA event at the University of Georgia, J.D. Vance defended the doctrine, arguing it has a history spanning more than 1,000 years. As reported from the event, Vance insisted that disagreements over whether a war is just are valid, even questioning the idea that God is never on the side of those who fight. The clash escalated after Pope Leo XIV criticised ongoing conflicts, prompting a fiery reaction from Donald Trump, who labelled the Pope weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. The exchange has now turned into a full-blown ideological standoff between political power and religious authority.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the moral argument deepened as Washington Archbishop Robert McElroy, in public remarks, stated that the US-Israeli actions in Iran failed to meet the minimum standards required for a war to be considered morally just. He highlighted the lack of clear imminent threat, unclear objectives, and questionable cost-benefit outcomes as major concerns. Adding another explosive layer to the controversy, Donald Trump shared a viral AI-generated image showing himself alongside a Jesus-like figure on Truth Social, amplifying outrage across political and religious circles. The image, widely circulated on X, has only intensified criticism amid his already strained relationship with the Vatican. This comes just days after Trump deleted another AI-generated post depicting himself in a Christ-like role, following massive backlash. The repeated use of such imagery has sparked accusations of